Silverstone, the home of British motor racing, is the venue for the second race in this year's Blancpain GT Series Endurance Cup. And with over 50 cars on track, it promises to be quite a spectacle. It was too at Monza, and it began with a bang as Guy Smith went for a gap from the second row of the grid. There was contact with the front row starting Lamborghini, and drama ensued. It left a number of damaged cars trackside and a race stop to make sure that everybody was okay and to clear the circuit of debris as well as damaged cars. The race, though, when it restarted, would turn out to be a battle between Lamborghini and Ferrari. Up front, the Grasser Racing Team number 63 car led the way. Other Lamborghinis from the AM Cup, such as Ben Ardelhe's car, not so lucky. Robert Renault was going rapidly in the Herberth Motorsport Porsche, and the Fisichella Giocchi Collado Ferrari was another one, creeping its way up the order, battling with the surviving Bentley number 8. Others were showing signs of damage earlier on, the ACA ASP Mercedes having been involved in the battles, and so too was the Kaspersky Motorsport Ferrari, as it battled on. In Pro-Am, meantime, Ahmad Al-Harthi was going strongly with the Aston Martin. The main opposition, the Kessel Racing Ferrari of Michael Broniszewski. The Herberth Motorsport Porsche was soldiering on in class as the SMP Racing Ferrari started to show its hand for overall honours. Great battles raged across all the classes. An 84 Mercedes from the HTP Motorsport team was another one making its way into contention. But so too was the Giocchi Collado Fisichella Ferrari, and that would be there or thereabouts come flagpole. Bentley number 8 busy working its way up the order, getting ahead of the orange Team Lazarus Lamborghini as it ran wide going into the first chicane. Ahmad Al-Harthi's Aston Martin still looking well placed in Pro-Am, but there was no stopping the GRT Grasser Racing Team Lamborghini up front as Matt Parry became very defensive in his Nissan. And when Johnny Adam took over the TF Sport Oman Racing Team Aston Martin, he had one task in mind: to win the class. The ISR Audi had run well all weekend and was still in the mix, but gradually the Davide Rigon Ferrari started to drop back, and in a big hurry was now number 15 Ferrari. Alessandro Pierguidi installed in it as Johnny Adam dived up the inside of the Kessel Racing Ferrari to take over the lead of Pro-Am. But up front there was just no stopping the leading Lamborghini, and it would come through to secure a win. Christian Engelhardt, Andrea Caldarelli and Mirko Bortolotti, an Italian car winning at an Italian circuit. And 3 delighted drivers on the podium. So now to the UK, and Bentley keen for a home win. Andy Soucek, one of the drivers aboard number 8.
We didn't really have a very easy start of the year. Our hopes are obviously to have both cars right at the top and finally be able to fight for the podium with both of them. As you said, it's weather depending, and you never know what Silverstone can do, but if it's dry, I'm sure we will be competitive.
Another British brand on the grid is Jaguar, the Emil Frey Racing Jaguars. 2 cars, and one of them driven by the rapid Spaniard Albert Costa.
Car is quick. We never showed the real potential because we've been very unlucky with some different issues of just bad luck. As in Monza, that we had a problem in the engine, and I had to stop when I was driving and already on top 10. So hopefully this weekend we change the bad luck in a good luck, and we can finish in a good result finally.
A winner a week ago in the DTM, Jamie Green is here as a GT racer this weekend, having to adapt to a very different sort of race car.
I'm not underestimating how tough this championship is. It's very close, there's a lot of cars on track, and it's very different into, you know, having 60 cars, there's going to be traffic. So I've still got a lot to learn as a GT driver and as an endurance driver. So I'm not underestimating that challenge. But Stuart finished second last weekend with Robin Frins, and Jake's quick. So I think we've got a strong team, and we can challenge for the podium.
Silverstone tends to be a fairly kind circuit as far as Nissan is concerned. There's always the possibility of a victory here outright for Alex Buncombe, and he's eager to do well on home soil after a very frustrating start to the season at Monza.
Well, we're looking to come back strong in car 23 here at Silverstone this weekend. We had a very poor weekend in Monza for the first round, and it all just stemmed from our qualifying really. We just couldn't get the pace out of the car, which is really strange because historically we've always been, extremely fast in Monza. Last year we were P2 on the grid, and this year we were P30.
Lamborghini enjoying an excellent start to the season, not only in terms of sprint race wins, but in the Endurance Cup as well. And Mirko Bortolotti comes to Silverstone with hopes high.
It's obviously our goal to keep the lead in the championship. thanks to two very good weekends in Brands Hatch and Monza, we managed to get in the points lead. So obviously that's our main goal is to continue on that way, even though it's still a very long season to go. We are still only at the initial part of the season. So every point counts for us. That's clear. We want to be on top of the standings at the end of the year. But obviously we are not complaining to be leading the championship at this stage.
Spanish driver Daniel Juncadella has made the move away from the DTM to GT racing, still for Mercedes, and has found a very happy home.
Every championship I join, I want to do the best I can, and that's of course winning. We are racing in a pro car. I'm racing with two strong drivers, racing for Mercedes-Benz, and which is a strong car in the field, I have to say. And I want to be at least a contender of both Blancpain GT Series championships.
Johnny Adam was one of the stars of Monza. His excellent final stint giving him the fastest lap of the race and a Pro-Am win. So, what are the chances of another here at Silverstone?
I think obviously having a bit of circuit knowledge around here does help, especially when the weather's mixed. Lines in the wet, offline, places like that really make a difference. But this is our home circuit for Aston Martin at Silverstone, and it's a circuit that the car normally goes well at. Last year we had our first podium in Blancpain with this car, so normally the circuit does suit the strengths of the Aston really well, and it's just nice to race in front of the home crowd here at Silverstone.
There's an extra car to look for this weekend in the AM Cup. This McLaren doing the Silverstone race by way of a test programme for the Spa 24 Hours. It should go well here, it should go well there. And one of the drivers behind the wheel is motoring journalist Chris Harris.
The objective feeling of driving the car is that it's a great racing car. It feels agile, it's light, it's responsive, it's everything I'd expect it to be. It's got loads of downforce at high speed, but it's very good in low speed corners, doesn't feel like it's got too tight a differential, all that stuff. But most importantly, I'm sitting here and I've got McLaren on the jumper and I'm driving a proper McLaren racing car. I never thought that would happen, so I'm a bit kind of pinch myself, is this happening?
Opposition to the McLaren in the AM Cup comes inevitably from Ferrari. And this car has behind the wheel of it David Perel, and Ferrari hard to beat last time out at Monza.
I love driving, but what I love more than driving is competing, and knowing that I'm competing against the best GT drivers in the world. That sort of measurement for me is one of the best things ever.
And so the scene is set as we get ready for the second Endurance Cup race of the season here at Silverstone. It's the full Grand Prix circuit that we're using. It's the old pit lane, if you like, the heritage pit, so the conventional start and finish area. The sun is doing its best to shine. There are still a few clouds. We had a little bit of rain this morning, lots of rain on Friday, but as far as the teams are concerned, they've had dry running all weekend, and now we get set for what promises to be another enthralling race, because we've had some great racing thus far in both endurance and sprint, and with 55 cars set to take the start, anything can happen. We've got this great battle between the brands. Bentley is a previous winner at Silverstone, and both numbers 7 and 8, the Continental GT3s, hoping for better fortune here. McLaren, of course, looking to go well, so too Aston Martin, as the M Sport team push the car through to the front of the grid. Let's catch up with the GRT team and Watty.
Mirko, front row of the grid, but I had you down as my pole man. What went wrong?
Well, it's super competitive, super close. It's not always pole, but first row is still good for us. Obviously, I would have liked to be on pole. Catched a little bit of traffic in the last sector. I think I lost a little bit there. I don't know if it would have been enough. But okay, it's a good starting position. We will try to go for it again.
Okay, tell me, what was the rationale in having you start as opposed to maybe doing the final stint?
Well, we have a solid, strong drivers lineup, so at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who starts or who does which kind of stint. We are, in a good shape, and we just took that decision to put me in the car for the start. I've done the most Blancpain starts, like say, in the championship, so I know how it works, and try to make the best out of it.
Bet you will.
So the final warming up lap, the green flag lap underway. A last chance to get some temperature into the Pirelli tyres, get the pressures up. Not the start of the race. That happens next time around. They will bunch up into the 2x2 formation as Felix Herrades goes toe-to-toe with Mirko Bortolotti on the front row of the grid. Franck Pereira and the Russian driver Victor Shahitar alongside on row 2. Then the third row is Jules Gounon and Alessandro Pierguidi, who is starting this time in number 50 Ferrari. Behind him will come Adrian Amstutz and then Jelmer Berman. And there's one car. Is that the Garage 59 McLaren that's not got away? The Alexander West car? Yes, I think it is. The grid scrolls through. We'll come back to that in a second, but number 188 McLaren, by the look of it, is going to have to be pushed off the grid, and it is 188. If it starts at all, it will have to start from the pits. So Alexander West, a pit lane starter. The rest of the field are already down at the end of Vale, just picking back up on the grid. Fabian Schiller lining up with Nicolas Pola's Lamborghini 19th on the grid. He will be alongside Andrea Piccini. Next row is Dries Van Thor and Lucas Ordonez. Then you've got Jasmine Jaffar and Kenneth Heyer. Hans Heyer's son on the next row, ahead of Frank Stippler and Rob Bell, who's going to be in a big hurry to make some progress up the order. Jamie Green a little bit further back. And then we will have also another man to watch, Bertrand Baguette and Philippe Eng, in fact, alongside him. Two more guns who will be looking to make good progress early doors. They come up to Woodcote for round 2 of the Blancpain GT Series Endurance Cup at Silverstone. Felix Morales and Mirko Bortolotti on the front of the grid. The second row, Franck Pereira and Victor Scheitar. They come now then through Woodcote Corner. The back of the pack still trying to catch the front in a sense. There's a big gap about sort of 2/3 through the order. But are we going to be good for a start this time around? The lights on red, go green. It is blast off, and a good start by Bortolotti from the outside of the front row. Charging through Franck Pereira, but Bortolotti sweeps around the outside. Felix Morales slots in behind him in second place. Third is going to be Pereira, fourth is Scheitar, and this is Stephen Kane, who is on the money straight away, trying to work his way up through the traffic. The Bentley powering towards Maggots as third. On the inside there goes Victor Scheitar ahead of Franck Pereira. Next up is Alessandro Pierguidi, but Mirko Bortolotti leads the way.
Clean start, got the advantage into Copse Corner. Planted, somebody's gone off in the middle of Beckett's. Can't see whose car that is. But it is an absolute motorway traffic jam as one of the Lamborghinis jumps back on track at Chapel Curb.
It's the Barwell car. It's the
that was the car that was on the third row of the grid, fourth row of the grid.
Yeah,
so
row 4 for Amstutz. Indeed so. So he's gone lawn mowing, but Amstutz is back on as the leaders work their way then now through Stowe Corner for the first time, and it is Mirko Bortolotti leading the way. Felix Morales second. In third place then, you've got Victor Scheitar in the SMP Racing Ferrari. And they hustle their way to the end of Vale. Marco Ciocci there, dropping back a little bit in the Kaspersky Ferrari. Ahmad Al-Hathi tucked up behind him as they now start to work their way through Club Corner. Speed building.
So this is the exit where you can get caught out. An opportunity to get alongside another car. Take away the Nissan. Is that the 23, 22 Nissan? 23. So that has taken a position. So they are looking at this earliest opportunity. They were disappointed. Alex Buncombe didn't get to complete his flying lap on a set of new tyres because of a red flag. So he's trying to make up ground as quickly as possible on a set of tyres that are pretty fresh. That's an advantage, certainly in the opening laps. But Mirko Bortolotti has already pulled the best part of maybe a second and a bit as we look at the 84 Mercedes trying to slide down. As it does into Brooklyn's good clean pass, but the 50 Ferrari as well, Alessandro Pierguidi in the 50 Ferrari. He starts the race for the AF Corsa entry, also making it a two-way Ferrari battle.
And we've got drive-through penalties already. One of them is number 36, Matthias Henkeler. Another is for the number 16 Mercedes of Miguel Toril. That's the Oliver Morley car. As the leaders come down Hanger Straight then. At the end of lap 1, Bortolotti led Morales by 1.2 seconds. Their third is Pereira. Pierguidi up the inside. Can't do it. Victor Scheitar closes the door. The two Ferraris run together. You're on board with Lucas Ordonez, 18. He is running 18th place. Lucas Ordonez tucked up behind Andrea Piccini as there is a challenge. So in 888 Ferrari as they turn their way through Stowe Corner, David Perel. But why is the man filter Mercedes dropped so far back in the pack? Down they come towards the end of Vale. David Perel leading the AM Cup at the moment. A good strong effort this is. Alexander West second in class up from the pit lane. Kenneth Heyer in the man-filter Mercedes turning his way now through in 28th place out of Club Corner, but to be 29th out of 55 starters in an AM Cup Ferrari as David Perel is, that's a mega job. So as the race leaders go on to lap 8, we've got 4.7 seconds between the top two, but second, third and fourth is where the battle's going to come from, I think, now. And that is Michael Bronizeski, who is off the road. That's at Stowe.
How did he get off there? Let's look at, here we are. The Audi is at the 17, it was the 2 Audi.
Yeah.
So that was the...
That's Richelme.
Richelme, yeah. So, wow, how did that go? What a good bit of, well, reactionary driving for the Lamborghini to split the Audi and the Ferrari. The Audi gets away with it.
Second, third and fourth have all bunched up, and Franck Pereira is going to have a look to the inside there against Felix Morales. Alessandro Pierguidi thinking, go on, touch, hold yourselves up, let me by. And all of this is playing into the hands of brilliant Bortolotti, who is getting away up the road. The Lamborghini comes up towards Woodcote Corner, as out of Luffield come the two Mercedes AMGs, and then the Ferrari 488 behind in the hands of Alessandro Pierguidi. And there is Michael Brozniczewski out of the gravel. He's got damage, he's got a puncture, and he's also lost about 2 laps at least, hasn't he?
And there's the 188. It's pulled over to the side of the circuit.
He's just been tapped into a spin, Alexander West, and he's beached by the side of the road with damage. That's at Luffield. So there's bits of bodywork off the car.
And there's flames coming from the exhaust as he's trying to refire the engine. Just look and see, this is the onboard shot. Watch for the car to be pivoted around. There it is, the whack from the rear. Oh, very nice too. Bodywork comes off the Mercedes as a consequence.
Full course yellow is being called for, while Alexander West's McLaren can be retrieved. So 188 is off and a full course yellow, but that should not bring down the gaps.
No, the gaps that you have a delta between the car ahead of you and the car behind you, and you're not meant to gain or lose.
Safety car is in. We are racing again. Into the pits has come the damaged McLaren. The incident that put it in the gravel is under investigation. Is Bortolotti going to drive away, or can anybody this time go with him?
Interesting. 2 of the Mercedes AMGs using a little bit of track space to get more temperature into their tyres, even running behind in that virtual safety car, then the safety car proper. You know, the temperature pressures, they drop away. You want to get them back up as quick as possible. And further battle. Oh, what's that? I thought that was a Porsche there. It is.
That's Robert Renau trying to gain places.
Down in 27th position,
yeah.
So he's got work to do.
We have seen the 188 McLaren in the gravel. It's now in the pits, and a frustrated Chris Goodwin can tell us more.
Chris, what's the damage and can you fix it?
Well, the damage is basically to our race. Unfortunately, having had the biggest talking to by the organisers before the race, no contact. A Mercedes hit Alex in the middle of Luffield. Ridiculous. Damage to the car, minimal. Punctured the right rear where the first impact was, but then the car spun round and damaged the front splitter. So the team are turning the car around. That's no problem. Alex is going to stay in the car. This is his first endurance race, so it's all going to be great experience for him. But the damage is to the race itself. We'll never catch up the lost laps.
We'll keep monitoring the situation. As you look there at number 14 Jaguar Stefano Telli battling with number 90 Eduardo Mortara. Right up behind them is the Nissan 22 Struan-Moore. You've got Marco Ciocci and all of that as well. So Struan-Moore has dropped back a couple of spots on this lap, and he's about to lose a third, I fear. Ciocci tries to get up the inside. Behind them is Fabian Schiller in the 85 HTP Mercedes as they come out of Woodcote, and then behind them Jasmine Jaffar. So Ortelli up into the top 10. That's Pierre Guidi looking for a way past Pereira. Shaitar behind him. They're in the traffic, aren't they?
Yeah, that's why. Just getting slightly confused. But third place has swapped over, and that's Max Book. Look at his face. There we go again, coming up into Abbey Corner. Loads of traffic, and this is the consequence of that safety car. Lots of cars were in the back of the field, got separated from the chain, but 3 abreast as they come into Farm. Ferrari squeezes through. It's got the place of the 84 Mercedes. It's looking at the 88 Mercedes AMG, and just traffic jam. 3 abreast again as they come into Aintree. Somebody's got to concede, and those quicker cars are finding themselves being, look, Ferrari on the grass, the Hilevitz car on the grass, being forced wide unintentionally, but makes the pass anyway, so gets past 2 Mercedes and the BMW, which is one of the cars that's being lapped. So
traffic everywhere, isn't it?
I don't know where to start, because whatever you say, something's going to change. So the BMW is completely out of place with this group of 4 cars all battling for the top 6 positions.
Now, there is a 1-minute stop-and-go penalty to Felix Morales in 2nd place due to false start and contact.
Look, 2 Nissans together, 22-23, battling, and yeah, they are. Yeah. With the Aston Martin, I think they've disposed, the 23 is disposed of the Aston, so 16, that's up a place. Yeah, 16, 17.
I suppose my point about this stop-go is you won't lose a lap, and that's key to staying in touch in the race, isn't it?
Wow, is it ever?
So there, 22 Struan-Moore, Ordonez behind him. Ahmad Al-Hafi has dropped back a little bit, but staying in touch. 3rd in Pro-Am. And that car's going to be able to do good lap times for another stint after that, whereas it'll be a different driver getting on board for Kylvitz and for Jules Gounon.
It's interesting when you talk to some of the team owners about the BOP. The Aston, they believe, in terms of BOP, has got a significant amount of horsepower advantage, whereas some of the more contemporary cars, the Mercedes AMG, the Lambo Huracan, the BMW, have more aero. Yeah. So they offset the aero on the Aston with more horsepower. and offset the cars with loads of aero with more BOP.
That is Frank Stippler up the inside.
Slipped through very nicely indeed, one of the McLarens.
But that was lapping the BMW. Half into the outside. Here is the Mercedes. Now, also on the subject of stop-go penalties, the team times it itself. That lapped BMW getting in the way a little bit as the McLarens try and dive through. Jasmine Jafar, Rob Bell, Ahmed Al-Harthi is stuck in the traffic. He can't get across. They're all descending upon the M6 as they dive down towards Copse. Jafar is through, Rob Bell is through. Ahmed Al-Harthi gets squeezed out. The BMW exit stage left as well.
Yeah, there was contact with the Aston. I don't know which car. Just very, very slight, or certainly if not contact, a turn to the left to avoid contact.
They've all survived, but that was a bit touch and go. Now, has the McLaren ended up with any damage? No, there's Jasmine. No, he has got a problem. Jafar runs wide. He was sideways in the Beckett's S's, so that brings Rob Bell into the mix yet again in number 58.
Is that a left front, or is it just he got something on the tyres? But Rob Bell looks like he might feel he's got a bit of speed. But, you know, this is, again, a group of 8-10 cars, maybe more, some out of position, but mostly all racing for that top 10, top 20 position.
Absolutely. This battle pack is for sort of, where are we now? 19th place back, and Rob Bell is the one who loses out because up the inside there goes Christian Clean. The number 31, the silver Mercedes AMG, is the Lendudis car getting in the way a little bit, so Rob Bell loses out because up the inside there goes Dries Van Toor in the Audi. Rob Bell was on the wrong line, and it's so competitive.
I mean, this is like stock car racing. It is absolutely nuts. I mean, you've got a group of, what, 15 cars now, all fighting, some in category, some for overall position, and some haven't got a clue, frankly.
Just push, push, push. Lendudis is the driver on this lap. Terrorised out of the way. Up the inside goes Vincent Abril.
I mean, he just wants to vanish. I mean, it's whatever he does, he's being passed on the outside, being passed on the inside. The only thing we haven't had is anybody go over the top yet.
That was an onboard view from Ahmed Al-Harthi's Aston Martin as he comes the right way, in other words on the tarmac to get through the traffic. But look, they're three, almost four abreast. Now we're getting more drive-through penalties. 55, Marco Ciocci, drive-through for a jump start, and 85, Fabian Schiller, HTP Mercedes AMG, jump start.
55, Ciocci in 11th place.
Yeah.
That's the car that Giancarlo Fisichella will be in a little bit later.
Oh, big off for number 44
yes.
McLaren. That's done the barrier a big heap of no good. That was Johnny Kane at the wheel.
That is mega.
Full course yellow.
Yes, I'm not
That's why I think
surprised.
some slowed, and we've got some pitting early. So now, one or two thinking this could be quite a long period. They're trying to take advantage under a full course yellow. It might be that once everybody is slowed, we go to a safety car period anyway. But our second full course yellow is out because 44, Johnny Kane, off the road with a sizable impact at Beckett's. Safety car being deployed. So now that the field have slowed, but unfortunately it actually gets more confusing for the race director now because your leader will change because of the pit stops, won't it? And let's have a look at how Johnny Kane got to his resting point. Was there contact with Lendudis?
Oh, was there ever?
Let's have a look. Oh, wheel.
Oh, wheel. Was that a rear wheel came off?
And then, bang.
What
he had no chance to brake there, did he?
No, I mean, the wheel, again, hate seeing wheels get up in the air. So there he goes. Oh, whoa, stop. Slightly confused, releasing the car with other cars coming down.
So there are two cars now behind the safety car and 63, which is not the leader, because the leading car now is number 90. Michael Meadows is the best of those that have made a pit stop.
Well, but in the confusion, could we have ever worked that out?
But I'm hesitating.
But
that car's not had a drive-through for anything, has it?
No, but it's made one pit stop.
Yeah,
so we don't. But not for. We're assuming it's a pit stop, but we've not. Have they had another? I can't tell.
Well, I'm thinking you're right. I'm thinking, is that stop a drive-through or a routine pit stop? I think it's a routine pit stop. So it's ahead, so it leads. Why do you spin behind the safety car? Treble 7 has rotated. That's Gilles Vanelay, who's an experienced driver, but Gilles, don't drive into the pack, please. Number 90 leads them. Michael Meadows drives it, and Eduardo Mortara did the first stint. It's sneaked into the lead, rather, and Edo Mortara then, who did that first stint, can tell us all.
Eduardo, you just sneaked into the lead there with an early pit stop.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a question, to take the right decision at the right time. I knew we were close. We were like sort of like in the pit stop window, and when they told me that they were like full course yellow, I decided to come in because I knew that we could gain some lap time there. We were running like around like P9, P10. So hopefully, next stints will be good, and we can finish, on a good position.
Now, can you hold up the Lambo?
Yeah, I mean, we have. I think we have good chances because we have like good tires. Yeah, my teammates that qualified the car, at the front. So Rafael, I guess, will finish the race. At the moment, it's Michael. They are both very experienced. They both showed that they were, on a good pace. So, I mean, if we can defend from the Lamborghini, this we will see. But at least, we are at the moment leading, and it's cool already.
Thank you. Good luck.
Racing again, safety car is in, green flags fly, so Michael Meadows leads, Andrea Caldarelli runs second, third is Passin Lathoris, and right on his tail now is Jimmy Eriksson in 84 Mercedes. That's suddenly come into the mix.
But the 8 Bentley likewise has come up to the mix. Suddenly we're seeing that right up at the races.
Caldarelli on the back of Michael Meadows, Passin Lathoris staying with them, and actually Jimmy Eriksson, fourth, has got somebody else in his mirrors because Andy Soucek is up into 5th place. Watch the leading cars go through Woodcote. There's the Bentley in the background. So Andy Soucek's car that was, 24th, I think, before the stops, now up into 5th place. Out of Copse Corner, Michael Meadows hangs on to the lead, but Andrea Caldarelli, watched on by Mirko Bortolotti, there is 0.279 of a second back. Lathoris is third. 4th is Eriksson, 5th is Soucek, 6th is Molina, 7th now is Stuart Leonard going great guns after the great result he had at Brands. 8th it is Lukas Stoltz, 9th Gustavo Jackermann, and Maxime Martin's BMW out of nowhere is up into 10th. Mirko Bortolotti watching Andrea Caldarelli, who is in 2nd place. The gap has opened up. If he were Caldarelli, where would he attack?
Mirko, now you're catching up to Michael Meadows, but where would you overtake?
Well, that's a good question, to be honest. Yeah, well, it's a shame actually that we are, as the race started, it's a shame that we are in the position that we need to try to get past. We were unlucky with the safety car procedure because when I pitted, there was full course yellow, and then apparently it switched to safety car, and Mercedes was having a clear half a lap and gained a lot of time and managed to jump us in the pit stop. So at the moment we are second, but Andrea is doing a great job. He's putting the leading Mercedes under pressure, and I hope we can find the right spot to get past it. But I don't know where you can actually have the position to pass it, because you have to drive the car to know it.
Okay, thank you very much.
32, Katja is in the gravel.
Yeah, that's Copse Corner.
And that'll look rather self-induced.
Two Mercedes.
Jelmer Berman's car, Lukas Stoltz at the wheel, was in 8th place, and that was the other one going wide. There, Lathoris is under attack. Here comes Jimmy Eriksson, and he's heading to a yellow flag zone. He's got to get the job done midway down the pit straight. If he goes through at Copse, then he's going to be in strife. Yellow flags are waving, and the position has changed.
Well, was he ahead when he got there or not? One of those... It doesn't impress a race director when that happens. Now Andy Soucek looking to go the long way round the outside of Chapel.
And he's taking Molina with him.
Absolutely, and he's going to be the beneficiary because he's going to, Soucek having to go defensive. Coming down, he saw the Ferrari right under his rear wing. Lathoris is having to be very careful because this is easy to get contact. He took the long way round and then came back.
Now have a look here at the overtake. Here it starts at Luffield. Jimmy Eriksson on the inside of Passin Lathoris. Now, they're heading for a yellow flag zone. Remember, there's waved yellows at the corner. There's waved yellows before the corner. Is he ahead? From that angle, marginal.
I would say he was, yes, I think I would agree with you, but it's a very oblique angle to see.
Stoltz makes the move. That'll work when that gives him the place. Yeah. There's Adrian Amstutz' car now with Martin Kodrich at the wheel. 89 goes through behind. There is 488, 20th overall. That's your leading Rino Mastronardi. They led at Monza, remember, until an engine problem badly delayed the car. So hoping for better fortune here. And he's on the back
of the 19.
Gianmaria, yeah. So this is a great effort.
The sister car to the winningest car, the 63 Lamborghini. So Rino Mastronardi.
As there, up the inside goes number 14. And under attack because he just gained and then lost the place back again. So through goes now Raffaele Gianmaria, moving himself 18th ahead of Lawrence Frey, and Mastronardi tries to squeeze up the inside as well. It's down to the pits in Dakota.
You're currently leading AM and 20th overall. Absolutely amazing.
Yes, we are doing very well, like we did in Monza, so hopefully the engine will stay.
Do you think you can keep this pace up?
Well, with Reno in the car, yes. When I go in, it's going to be a little slower again.
When do we expect you in the car?
In about 30 minutes.
Let's see what you got. Good luck.
Very experienced driver, Pierre. Been around for a long, long time. Very self-effacing. Now here are the leaders, and they are 3 for the lead. And Ericsson goes second up on the inside line. Job done.
No surprise about that, but the undercut, the Lamborghini's going to come back. And Ericsson dived on the inside. He had to run high on the exit of the loop. This is going to be interesting coming down into Brooklyn. Mercedes AMG of number 90 goes clearly to the middle of the racetrack. Audi is still there. Can the Lamborghini sweep round the outside and get track position into Luffield? Jimmy Ericsson sits there and thinks, oh, up the inside. Wow.
How about that? If there's no gap, make a gap.
Absolutely, and I think the Bentley might have slipped through as well. I think Andy Suchek might have slipped up there. Hello, first time I've seen him smile all weekend.
The ACA ASP car leading of Michael Meadows. Second is the HTP Motorsport car in the hands of Jimmy Ericsson, who goes to the outside line at the end of Vale. Is he going to be able to drive around the outside? No. Now, can he get up the inside coming through Club? Michael Meadows slows the pace right down. Caldarelli almost into the back of Ericsson. 3 for the lead after an hour and 40 minutes of racing. Fantastic stuff. Number 7 Bentley about to be tagged into a spin.
Yes, Fisichella.
Now what happens there? Pro on pro.
Yeah, and that was probably, that was unpleasant.
And Giancarlo Fisichella, a drive-through penalty for causing that collision.
Yeah, it's a harsh judgment, but Ericsson up the outside coming into Farm.
Can't do it there, but can he get up the inside going into the loop? Michael Meadows fends him off. Caldarelli wants to try and dive bomb them as well if he can. Here comes Ericsson to the inside line in towards Aintree now. If he stays tight up behind, he might be able to make a move at Brooklands, but Michael Meadows also having to focus on the traffic up the road. He can't afford to be any hesitant at all with those back markers ahead of him, but equally he can't afford to commit and get himself in strife. To the outside line goes Ericsson, but look at Caldarelli up the inside. Ericsson's going to have the inside. Is he for Luffield? No, he's got to drop back in as Michael Meadows switches sides, gets through the traffic. Back marker on the outside. Caldarelli trying to buy into this as well.
They all peel off, all 3 leaders into the pits at the same time.
Or 5 leaders.
Oh, 5, of course.
In they come. So there they are. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait for the Ferrari. 5. That is the battle. That's the race. So we'll see now in what order they leave, because if the order shuffles, you know that somebody has either made a bad pit stop or somebody has been under on the regulation time.
And that's the Lamborghini now, and they're delaying it. That'll go. They've got to go. So the Mercedes 90 is behind the Lamborghini, and the 84 will be behind the 90.
So Lamborghini gets the lead on the pit stops. It came in third, and it's now leading.
That was key. They had to find a way.
Now with some peeling off, it gives the lead back to Christian Engelhardt, and he is now 4/10 of a second ahead of Raffaele Marciello. Maxi Buch is a further 2 seconds back. And Maxi Buch's last lap quicker than the 2 ahead of him. So it's concertinaing up again. There is the Pro-Am leader. Now that is Patrick Kujala. He leads Pro-Am, and guess who's second in Pro-Am? It is Johnny Adam. So Kujala to Mappelli, 8 seconds. Mappelli to the next car is a further 4, and then it's 2 back to Johnny Adam. So he's got to make up round about, let's say, 12 seconds. It's Pierre Arret in 29th now. Gradually the car has fallen back a little, not surprising given how many other fast Pro-Am combinations there are, but Pierre Arret is after a class win.
So again looks to make a move down into Luffield, but covered by the Lamborghini. But this time side by side, he's got the nose of the Jaguar in front of him. Can the Lamborghini run alongside as we cut back into the middle? And he's done it, and he's not only done it, he's made it stick, and that's what he's been trying to do. Look at the joy. We're back to this leading group now. Once again, the lead, Christian Engelhardt enjoyed evaporating with traffic, and he's going to have to be on his toes because it runs way wide, trying to maybe go round the long way around the Barwell Lamborghini, and makes an error which must have been absolute manna from heaven for Raffaele Marciello, and he now thinks, I've got an opportunity. If I keep my momentum up and pop it up, well, he went the long way, tries to make the undercut coming back to Christian Engelhardt under real threat, and again the Lamborghini.
But Maxi Buch could be the beneficiary, couldn't he? Because he's up the inside. This for second place. Buch versus Marciello. The 2 Mercedes absolutely side by side. Maxi Buch on the inside line as they come down Wellington Straight. The grey and orange Mercedes alongside the red car, but Marciello is just ahead as they brake, but Maxi Buch is on the tighter inside line. He's going to go second. He's done it. He's gone through. and he's right on the tail of the lapped Lamborghini now, which needs to get out of the way. So it is still just Engelhardt in the lead of the race. Now Book is trapped in traffic, and here comes Marciello to fight back in the red Mercedes into Woodcote. Still, look, the Lamborghini is on the racing line. Maxi Book up the curb. He's desperate to get past without any more loss of time. Through they come, down towards Copse Corner, and Book still can't find a way past. So now Engelhardt is able to get away, because second and third are trapped for the moment behind the number 78 Lamborghini, which has got Richard Abra at the wheel of it.
Indeed, and Richard Abra driving the wheels off the Lamborghini, but unaware that he's holding up a battle for the pole. And look, above goes up the inside 90, tries to squeeze by Maximilian Book, but Book has got the advantage, just carried a little bit more speed in the exit, but nothing given between these two respective teams and drivers.
And then you've got Davide Rigon in the Ferrari right at the back of it, but look, they've been stuck behind Abra for over half a lap, and still they can't find a way past it. Richard Abra hugs the inside line, and now finally goes through Raffaele Marciello. Davide Rigon is the next one, and more news from the pits. The number 333 Ferrari, Alexander Matschel, disqualified for not respecting the drive-through signal.
There's the two Jaguars having their own little private team battle for 12th and 13th position.
And about to swap over, aren't they? Costa up the inside of Hershey. Jonathan Hershey in 114. So as they come now up over the line together, to the inside line goes Albert Costa, on the outside line Jonathan Hershey, and Costa goes through. So Christian Engelhardt, the race leader, made his name in Porsches, but has adapted to Lamborghinis very impressively indeed. And former Carrera Cup champion in Germany, turning his way now through the loop.
As we go back to the battle further down through the field, with the 19 down at 19th position, ironically.
And there ahead is the Pro-Am leading Lamborghini, Patrick Kujala, ahead of Norbert Siedler. So this is the car that's the centre of Pro-Am attention today. For Barwell Motorsport, it's going to be another British team to win in Pro-Am. TF Sport at Monza, Barwell Motorsport here, if all stays according to plan for 8 and a bit minutes. As you go on board briefly with Engelhardt, and Maxi Bookie's right on his tail. A flying lap at the moment is a 2 minutes 2. They might even get 2 more laps out of this. Let's see, because as they cross the timing line now, it's with, 2 minutes and 4 to go. It's going to be oh so close, this, for the last lap. But Maxi Book right on the back. It is declared the final lap, though. We might be a second under the 3 hours, but it won't be much if we are. So through they go. It's the last lap of the race. Heading now up towards the Beckett's S's. Just up the road ahead is Comme Ledegar. So are we going to have a change on the last lap? Maxi Book has thrown everything at it in this stint. Christian Engelhardt has done his level best to try and withstand all the pressure. The HTP Motorsport team equally nervous now. GRT Lamborghini versus HTP Mercedes. Down they come with half a lap to go at Stowe Corner. That's an opportunity for Maxi Book, but he's not able to take advantage. Is he going to be good enough, tight enough through Stowe to challenge through Vale? Still Comme Ledegar is ahead. A flash of the lights from Engelhardt. The McLaren trying to drive its own race, but not yet bailing to one side. The two leaders behind, nose to tail, really only a handful of corners to go. Can Christian Engelhardt hang on in there? It's going to be a very, very close finish. There's no argument about that. Book flashing the lights at Engelhardt to try to distract him. Engelhardt is still stuck behind the McLaren. This is what happened to the Mercedes earlier when they got caught in traffic. Now the shoe is on the other foot as Book tries to come up round the outside of Engelhardt. He goes one way, he goes the other, side by side for the lead on the last lap of 3 hours of racing. Traffic in the way. Leader gets through. Engelhardt goes ahead of the McLaren. Now Maxi Book goes through as well. He's got Wellington Straight and the Stadium to go. Can he find a way through? Christian Engelhardt timed that well. Able to hang on to the race lead. Maxi Book right up behind him then. They've got Brooklands, Luffield and Woodcote to go. It is now or never for Maxi Book. He's got to throw it up the inside if he can. He breaks desperately, desperately late. Now he can't do it there. The inside line at Luffield is perhaps the last chance, and then the run through Woodcote. Engelhardt covers the inside line. Book right on his tail. It's going to be a winning margin of hundredths of a second this. Unlike Monza, where it was about half a minute, because Engelhardt is still under attack, but it's going to be a win for the GRT Lamborghini as they come through Woodcote Corner. Christian Engelhardt hangs on. He comes over the line, and there's no checkered flag. No checkered flag shown, but the clock has hit 0 as they come across the timing line. Now there's no flag, so they go through. The clock has hit 0, but they're going to carry on racing, aren't they? Because no checkered flag was shown. It was very marginal, as I said at the start of the last lap, as to whether it would be the last lap or not. So both of them are going to carry on pushing. There's still no checkered flag, so whether this lap is going to count, we'll wait and see. Onto the Hanger Straight they come. the leader crossed the line at 2 hours, 59 minutes, 57.645 seconds. So I would propose that it shouldn't have been declared the last lap, and this one is going to count. The clock has hit zero now, of course, because we've had the 3 hours elapse. So Maxi Bouc has got to keep on pushing, and has he got a chance? There's now consternation. The screen said final lap, but I don't think it should have done, because there was just, as you can now detect, 3 seconds to spare for one more lap, and this is that lap. Bouc, however, is not actually as close. He's still pushing, so is Engelhardt, but the gap there you can see is a wide one. It had gone up a little bit in the first sector. They come now in towards Abbey. So the checkered flag not shown because there was time enough to start one more lap. Maxi Bouc finds himself in a similar situation, close at Village, hard on the brakes as they turn now into Aintree, coming out of the loop. Now we're on the final lap, so here's one we prepared earlier, and Engelhardt accelerates through the traffic. Here is Maxi Bouc getting himself up close as well as they head down towards Brooklands. So he had a go last time, this is the final opportunity. Lamborghini leads the way. Maxi Bouc needs to try and get himself up the inside at Luffield if he can. Engelhardt will cover that line. The Mercedes tries to squeeze up the inside, wide through Luffield, and now Maxi Bouc has got to sort of launch it towards Woodcote Corner, but he still can't do it. So the extra lap completed, and it's going to be a win for Christian Engelhardt, Andrea Caldarelli and Mirko Bortolotti. Checkered flag is waved. Second across the line, Maxi Bouc in the Mercedes after a great stint. And fair play to Christian Engelhardt for fending him off under huge pressure. What a race. The margin at the end, 0.344 of a second, that's all. Well done, Christian Engelhardt. Yet another win, but boy, did he deserve that. And the Grasser Racing team starts to celebrate. Gottfried Grasser and his merry men have yet again proved that the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 is the car to have. Let's hear from the winners.
Christian Engelhardt, how tense was that last hour?
Yeah, it was incredibly tense. Not easy with the traffic here. Not easy to get by because they have nearly the same pace and you're not a lot quicker. And then you don't get through. So then you lose a lot and the guy behind you closes. So I had a lot of pressure at the end. But I must say a big thanks to the whole team. We are the guys that are allowed to sit behind the wheel, but they've done such an amazing job in the last tests before the season. We were really struggling in the beginning. And then in the last test before the season, we made such a great car.
So a fabulous race, won in the end by Christian Engelhardt, Mirko Bortolotti and Andrea Caldarelli, with 0.3 of a second being the margin to number 84, which was the Jimmy Eriksson, Maxi Bouc and Franck Pereira Mercedes, ahead of Michael Meadows, his first outright podium in the Endurance Cup, Edo Mortara and Raffaele Marciello behind. Victor Scheitar, Miguel Molina and Davide Rigon, fourth from Vincent Abril. Andy Suchek and Maxime Soulet fifth in the Bentley, ahead of Passin Lathouris, Michele Rugolo and Alessandro Pierguidi. Then the BMW of Alexander Sims, Maxime Martin and Philippe Eng. The best McLaren, 8th. Bentley number 7 coming home in 9th place. Jaguar 10th and 12th with Tristan Vautier between them. In the end, Stuart Leonard, Jamie Green and Jake Dennis fell to 13th ahead of Nicky Polar's Lamborghini. Number 23 Nissan after a drive-through 16th. 20th, the winning Pro-Am car, but only just because it was just over a second between Lamborghini and Aston Martin, and then a further few tenths back came the Mercedes in the hands at the end of Nico Bastian. But number 78, Barwell Lamborghini, ending up in 26th place. Number 59, McLaren, 29th of last year's winner, Jasmine Jaffar. And looking further down the order, 35th is where you find the AM Cup winners, Pierre Arret and Rino Mastronardi. 55 starters, 1 excluded, and 1 or 2 of them retiring to the pits, 1 or 2 retiring with damage as well. You had a clutch problem, for example, for number 5. The Black Falcon Mercedes had that lengthy stop-go penalty and was withdrawn. There was further drama for the Garage 59 McLaren after having been in the gravel earlier on. Now the trophies go to Rino Mastronardi and then to Pierre Arret, the winners of the AM Cup in the second Blancpain GT Series Endurance Cup race of the Blancpain Clock, and team trophy goes to Mark Lemmer, and to the 3 winning drivers. The trophies are about to be brought forward. Victory at Silverstone to Andrea Caldarelli, to Mirko Bortolotti and Christian Engelhardt. Trophies presented, and when Christian gets his trophy, now they can hold them in the air, receive the cheers. Winners of the second Endurance Cup race. A wonderful GT race here at the home of British motor racing. thanks for your company for now. From John Watson and David Addison, bye-bye.